Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mindfulness Meditation Monday. My name is Ellen Patrick, and I will be your guide. So before we begin, just take a look at your surroundings. Right? Have you created a space that will help you to stay quiet, that will help you to stay inwards? Closing your door, turning off your phone, asking members of your family or your office or wherever you are to respect this time you've set aside for yourself. In this way, we can make our meditation practice more of a ritual, something that we do on a consistent basis that helps to prepare us for this inward journey. And of course, one of the things that I like to do is to light my candle. And may the lighting of this candle dispel the darkness in our minds and in the minds of all beings. And one of the things I love about this candle that was given to me by a dear friend is that it is scented, and so my surroundings also smell nice. So let's get settled in, please. Find yourself a comfortable seat. And as you come to seated position, make sure you're feeling supported. So become aware of your pelvic bowl as your foundation. And then from the strength, from the grounding of that pelvic bowl, you can invite your spine to lift and lengthen. In the process of doing that, the shoulders roll back and the heart center opens. So try and find that sense of stability and strength that's offered to us from our physical structure. When we meditate, we are often invited to focus on the breath. And there's many reasons for that. First of all, the breath is with us 24/7, so we can always rely on its presence. Speaking of which, the breath anchors us in the present. So there's no past, there's no future, there's just the now, and that's all we have. In addition to that, the breath will help us to regulate our nervous system. If we're too sluggish, it can lift us up. If we're too anxious, it can calm us down. Now, the interesting thing about the breath is that we tend to think of it as having two parts, the inhale and the exhale. And of course, those are the main parts, but in reality, there's actually four parts to the breath. There's an inhale. At the top of the inhale is a momentary suspension of the breath. And then there's the exhale. And again, a momentary suspension of the breath at the bottom of the exhale. Right? Those suspensions of the breath are called the pause. In that pause, we can find stillness, quiet, and calm. So it's not just about watching the inhale and the exhale. It's noticing the pauses in between the different parts of the breath. So take a moment now just to notice that. And you don't really have to force the pause or create the pause. It just exists. We can decide to lengthen the pause, but for our purposes in meditation, it's just a matter of noticing and becoming aware of a place within us that can create calm, that can create peace. that can anchor us in the present moment. Okay. So if you haven't already, I invite you to close your eyes. With the heart center open, you're inviting a deeper breath. And begin by noticing your inhale and your exhale. Interesting thing happens when we start to notice that the breath tends to automatically get smoother, longer. Yes. And then begin to notice the spaces between the breath, at the top of the inhale and at the bottom of the exhale. And so we inhale, pause, exhale, pause. And so we turn our attention inwards, watching the breath, feeling the pause, noticing the peace, the quiet, the silence. And when we are fully concentrated on an awareness of the breath, there's very few distractions. Oh yes, the mind would like to chatter away, but bring its awareness back to this breath, the 4 parts of the breath, particularly the pause, the silence. That pause gives our mind a rest. It quiets our nervous system. And anchors us in the present moment. So we breathe in and pause, and we breathe out and pause again. No need to force the pause, just an awareness that it exists. Within every breath, there is a pause. Within every pause is silence. Take refuge in this silence. And if you are distracted, gently bring your awareness back to the breath. Doing so without judging, without frustration, but instead add a little bit of compassion and kindness to yourself. This is the human experience. Easily distracted. And so we practice staying focused and present. Breathing in, pausing, breathing out, and pausing again. And so whenever you find yourself overwhelmed by the noise in the world, take refuge in your breath. Within every breath is a pause. Within every pause is silence. Take refuge there. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I look forward to our time together next week. Many blessings.